Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Ferris Makes Hardware. This is episode 2. 2 streams twice in a row. What a great deal. Yesterday, we started kicking off this console project. And after the stream, I thought I would do some code cleanup and stuff. I ended up just playing Shadow of the Colossus because the remake came out. I think this last week, actually, but I bought it on Friday. I played it so much this weekend. It's so good, you guys. At least I think so. I actually hadn't played the original game, but I've seen it, and I knew I would like it. And I'm really enjoying the new one. Some of the Colossi are a bit hit or miss, but the ones that are good are so good. They're so good. So, the reason I bring that up is because I have not made any progress or any changes, except a couple tiny things, since I turned off the stream yesterday, which kind of makes this a good place to keep going. This is called ALU and Beyond because I have, as I mentioned in the last stream, I've never done this before, so I don't know how fast or slowly this will go. But I know that we stopped working on the ALU last time, and there is a couple things that I missed. So I just want to go over those really quick here. The first thing actually is that these shift amounts, when you're shifting left or right, I went back to the datasheet because I thought it was weird that I was just taking the whole value, and I thought about it, and I was like, that's too many bits. And I thought I remembered something in the data sheet, and I was right. Probably these. Yeah. Lower 5 bits of the immediate when it's an immediate one. And lower 5 bits of RS2 when it's registered. So I just adjusted this to use the shift amount thing, which I just wrote here. So here's this. This always reads stupid to me, I think, where you do wire and then this kind of wire. Shift amount is these lower bits. So this just takes the lower 5 bits of this, and this is this kind of assignment is continuous. So whenever this changes, then this value changes. I wish I could just make a variable or what I would call a binding, just in this kind of scope, because I probably won't need this anywhere else. But this doesn't read too bad. Anyway, so I use that for the shift amount now. I can't remember if there's anything else I changed since I was off the stream. I don't think I pushed, so I could just do git diff. Yeah, so that was it. Oh, thanks, Wilkinson. Is that here instead of wire, or where would I use that? And because I've actually seen that, and I read somewhere that it was like a different kind of reg. I didn't understand that at all. Maybe you could enlighten me a bit there on sort of the difference between reg wire and logic in system verilog here. By the way, howdy guys in the chat. Try later, move away, def param, Petaroya, Kluosh, Econym, Love Like Semtex, Ion Codes, 0.02, Vogensen. Oh, nice. So I guess that is totally what I want then. Since it seems like what you actually get when you use reg or wire actually depends on its usage anyway, except that the different kinds of assignments you can do to them in processes seems to be a little different. It's actually really nice that you can just do logic here, assuming that would just mean, yes, it's whatever, but now I admit that it's whatever instead of lying half the time. So that's cool. I'll try and get in that habit, I think, because that's quite nice. So that's all I changed, and this is all the progress we've made, except I did set up some testing stuff with Rust as well. Some unrelated stuff. And where did it go? Here. So I didn't really make any very good regression tests, and I don't really care about that at this point, just as long as we tested some things, because I can always add to this later. But what I would like to do is that now I've sort of set up how the different pieces of software here work together. I just want to update the make file to include everything, because right now I'm still building the Rust thing in one terminal and then the other stuff in the other. So I just want to put that stuff together. And then I think we'll start moving on already, because from what I can tell, this ALU is basically done, unless we just want to test it more, which is probably a good idea. But I would like to start working on the rest of the stuff at the moment. So yeah. I'm just going to pull up that witchcraft project again, just so we can steal some stuff from there. A make file from days past. Whoops, that's a readme. Here we go. That is a good idea, Wilkinson. Definitely a good thing to keep in mind. I will totally skip that here, but I really like that idea. So what I kind of separated this in for the testing stuff is I had these drivers, and that's just a wrapper around the C++ code that Verilator spits out, and that way I can give it a DLL or a dynamic library that's written on whatever, and just sort of stimulate that piece of hardware however. And I'm using that to do that from Rust now, which isn't really giving us much benefits in a super simple test like this. But when I build the more full-featured simulator stuff, I think that will actually really help to write that stuff. So, or I could be wrong and it's a total waste of time to do that, but that's the way I'm doing it so far. So we need to separate this a bit. I think this is actually okay how this is building the driver. I think we actually just need to add the other stuff here. The ALU driver here. And then do ALU test. I'm not entirely sure how I want to set this up yet. I'll just copy this stuff here. Hard coding some Windows shit in here for now, but that's fine. Fine for now. Making sure this is in the right place. It may work to just do this. We'll find out. Oh, cool. I'll definitely read up about that. Thanks, Ep.002. The most of that stuff I can get my head around, the better. Hey, G Superland. This is probably better. Actually, why not? And down here, we can do this. here we can do run ALU driver with ALU test as an argument. Nice if it works. Let's find out. Let's do this for this. I think this is wrong because it should be that. Ha! Cool, that worked. And now if I do a make clean, we're good. I think that not empty thing was because I had Explorer open there. So we can do make clean, we can do make test. And we're good to go. That's sweet. Before I commit this, I'll just test that we can make changes to this. Yeah, also this, we know what happens now with too big a shift value. So for example, if I do 32, let's do 33, it'll be the same as shifting by 1. Or in that case, I'll do 36, because then we'll get the same output that we had before. That'll just make it easy. Although I should change it to make sure it rebuilds, but it looks like it rebuilds, so we should be fine. So if I do 32, we should get the original value. Good. And 36. Neat. And then if I go and change the verilog code, it doesn't really matter how I change it as long as it changes somehow. Rebuilds all that. Good. Another thing I want to try is the return code here, because I don't think I'm actually routing that anywhere. So if I return 1, this should actually fail. Yeah, it doesn't do anything with that. So let's go ahead and change the driver there, which will be here. I think is uint32t. I think that int32t. We can just change this here. I32. Because then we can just do this. Although, just do. Because why not? Return ret. Hey, Pelicus. Yeah, and now it says error 1. So we can use that for failing tests. But of course, in this case, this should just return 0. And this will be fine. Again, make clean. Make test, just to test it again. Get status, and we're good. Bang. Cool. Where are we at now? Yeah, I'm not that worried about this code right now. So I would kind of like to move on. Gotta figure out some stuff though with how we're gonna route this together and make sure this command T thing is visible. That's just me needing to know more system verilog where I'm gonna put that. Having it here is probably fine as long as I can get it visible somewhere else. Oh, is it Superland? Yeah, I like to do that, like short message about what it is, and then just notes to self, whatever context I have at the time. I generally like taking a lot of those notes. Helps me clarify my thoughts, and sometimes I like reading through them later. Most of the time I don't do it, but you can get them out of the way anyway. So, right. So is that VH you use for the extension then? Because then I can just do command t.vh, right? Something like this. Just yell at me if I'm doing this wrong. That's not too bad at all. Yeah, and I, of course, typed it wrong. Okay, this is annoying. Yeah, it is Superland. So are these includes supposed to be relative to the current file? Because it seems like verilator does not like that. And that's not good. Because if I have to do this, then Quartus better match that behavior. And I have a feeling it won't. Let's look this up. System verilog include. Verilog include directive. Seems like people generally are a bit unsure about that. I'm going to do this because it'll work for us now, and then if it doesn't work for Quartus, I'll try and figure something out. Because I think we'll end up building a lot of this before we actually move to testing on hardware anyway, just because of how much stuff there still needs to be done. Halo Coaster. I was thinking about commit messages like that. They take like 2 seconds to write anyway, so not a point. Hey, Creekpot. It's been a while. Hey, Danny Fritz. Thanks, Creekpot. I think so. I'm pretty excited about it. First time I've ever done something like this, at least. So I'm enjoying this so far. So one of the next things I was thinking about doing, I'm actually going to hook up my FPGA here. By the way, these two USB